I was coming out here to...
Glasses off.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake and then go back home.
All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We're back again with another YouTube video, and today we have a pretty major update on the Dr. Disrespect situation. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys remember about a month and a half ago, an individual by the name of Cody Connors, who happens to be an ex-Twitch employee, broke his silence on why Doc was banned off Twitch back in 2020. Essentially, he claims that Dr. Disrespect was banned because he was caught sexting a minor in the Twitch Whisper feature. Not only that, but he was also trying to entice this said minor into meeting up with him. Now, obviously, Dr. Disrespect responded in his own statement, claiming that, there wasn't any sexting and that there was actually a minor involved. However, it was more just leaning in the inappropriate side of conversations, whatever that means. He also go on to claim that he never actually meant anything by these messages and that he actually wasn't ever going to meet up with this person or try to meet up with them, essentially. Now, after he made that really blanketed statement that just had no clarity whatsoever to it, he decided to go on a month vacation. Now, after this month vacation, he did eventually make a return in a yesterday stream titled The Truth. Now, I did watch the entire stream, and a majority of it is him just playing video games, whatever, but there are some segments where he actually does go into the court proceedings. Now, before we actually get into the clips, I do want to say this now. I think it's a massive disservice for Dr. Disrespect not to talk to us like Guy Beam. I think the fact that he isn't dropping this character is just weird to me. I feel like when you get accused of such a horrendous thing and such a serious thing, you should probably drop the Dr. Disrespect Act. Like, he's clearly playing a character, and he hasn't yet. Which is really weird. I understand, this might have already been settled in court, and you might think this is an absolute joke at this point. You're now dealing with public opinion, right? You're now dealing with the public court. So you might want to take this a little bit more seriously. You know what I mean? But that being said, he does actually dive a little bit more into the court proceedings in, him suing Twitch for the wrongful termination back in 2020. And that's actually good. I think it's important for him to go more into the court proceedings. However, he does bring up a lot of stuff that I just can't ignore, and it's just straight up gaslighting and manipulating. Now, he obviously starts the statements off by talking about Cody Connors and how he accused him, and the fact that Cody Connors broke his silence about the court situation. Now, Dr. Disrespect can, in order to defend himself.
You see, there was a lawsuit pending, and as part of that arbitration, all parties were not allowed to speak publicly about the case. I respected those rules. My lawsuit against Twitch was eventually resolved, as you all know. But even then, as part of the settlement, all parties were still prohibited from speaking publicly about the case or the settlement. However, if one side violated that confidentiality, then the other side could respond.
This goes on to say that this minor was actually around the ages of 16 and 17. Now, he doesn't actually say the age of the minor, but he does say that this minor was of the age of consent in whatever state they reside in.
Off your tweets, did any of you consider that the Twitch user may have been over the legal age of consent at the time of the messages?
Which essentially tells me that the minor was between 16 and 17. Now, he also goes on to say that he used the word minor deliberately in his statement before it got deleted, where he wanted publications to talk about it and really blow this up, which is so weird to me. I got Dr. Disrespect fanboys going to Twitter and stuff saying that, oh guys, he never actually talked to a minor. There was no minor involved whatsoever, even though he said in his statement. And then they go on to defend and say, well, he said it purposely. He wanted publications to talk about it. He wanted to pull a fast one on them. It's just a weird defense, right? Even though he claims that, he did it deliberately, that's still a minor, though. That's still a girl between the ages of 16 and 17, most likely. Which is a really weird defense. Now, he then goes in to proceed to talk about how Twitch handled this situation. If what he's saying is true, it does seem like Twitch really flopped on this really hard, and it seemed like they're more worried about getting him banned instead of actually worrying about the victim, and that's pretty clear in what he talks about. Now, he does claim that his Twitch partner is the one who kind of led this whole entire thing, and he was a disgruntled person with Dr. Disrespect. He didn't like Dr. Disrespect, so he pretty much led the charge of this, which kind of puts this in bad faith. However, the guy did end up taking these messages and sent them to the Twitch law enforcement team, where he apparently had a friend on. Apparently this Twitch partner had a very close friend on this law enforcement team, and essentially he sent it to the director of this team, in which the director was on vacation during this time, so he actually didn't have access to his computer. Then after about an hour of discussing it, they didn't decide to ban Dr. Disrespect, even though everyone else who looked into this claimed that there was actually no sexting. Apparently, Twitch themselves claimed that there was no sexting that happened in these messages. So then he immediately got banned, essentially, by this law enforcement director, essentially. And that's what he kind of claims in court, and that's probably why he won the court case. Now, that being said, just because what he did wasn't illegal doesn't mean that it wasn't morally right. Now, if what we're believing is true, then it seems like if this individual was 16 or 17 and no explicit images were sent to each other, in terms of the law, that is legal, unfortunately. Even though Dr. Disrespect is a man in his 30s, talking to a 16, 17-year-old isn't good. I think that's weird. I don't think that should be a thing, especially if it's your fan, which he goes on to claim that this individual was part of his community and was his fan. That's just bad. You shouldn't be talking to minors. You shouldn't be talking to 16, 17-year-olds. He claims that the messages were taken out of context and they weren't considered sexting. But if they were inappropriate like he claims, that's weird. Like, you're a dude in your mid-30s messaging a minor like that, that's weird. That's bad. In terms of legality, yes, he might have won the court case. He might have, got compensated. He might have got his, everything paid back. Twitch might have completely fumbled the bag here in terms of an actual thorough investigation. But he was messaging a 16, 17-year-old. Not a good look whatsoever, especially since he's married and has a child. That's just bad. Now, again, we don't know what was said. We don't know if they're taken out of context. He claims they were taken out of context. But until we actually see these messages, it's hard to tell. And someone did ask him during his stream, he's like, hey, Doc, you should show the messages. If it's in order for you to defend yourself, why can't you show the messages? He said, were we in the second grade?
Release the messages. Show the messages.
What are we in second grade?
It's like, yeah, but you probably should, right? Like, I understand it's not in your position to defend yourself. It should be the accuser showing the evidence. But at the same time, if you really want us all to believe what you're saying, you should probably show the evidence, especially since you've already had a statement saying that there was inappropriate messages with a minor. Which, again, this whole situation shouldn't have happened in the first place if he just didn't message underage fans. Like, I just don't understand. Every situation we deal with is because these content creators message underage fans. It makes no sense. Just don't message your underage fans. It's that simple, right, guys? It's that simple. He also goes on to claim that, the Child Protective Services or whatever he says is not even looking into it. They sent the information. They didn't even look into it. And according to the court as well, there was no sexting. There was no illegal acts happening here. He also heavily implies that no explicit imagery got sent, which would make this illegal if he did send nudes to this 16, 17-year-old. Obviously, that's illegal, or if he was asking for nudes back. But that just goes on to further point out the fact that this individual was probably 16 or 17, hence why it wasn't illegal to talk inappropriate with them, I guess. Like I said, it really comes down to an argument of legality versus morality. You know what I mean? Like, your morals versus what's actually illegal. And I think Dr. Disrespect literally had no morals in that situation. He goes on to say that he's in a good place now and he's changed a lot. But at the same time, like, why are you messaging a minor? Like, it's that simple. You know what I mean? To the point where, there could be somewhat of a situation when it comes to you getting banned. I just don't get it. And I also want to say, too, the whole concept of him saying that he wasn't sexting the individual. Well, you go on to say in your statement that you didn't mean anything by what you were saying, which would heavily imply that there was some conversations that lean towards that. You don't just say that, oh, I was saying stuff that I didn't mean. That's kind of what predators say, where they say, oh, I didn't mean anything by these messages. It's just messages. So I'm kind of confused why he said that in his statement. It definitely is not a good look. He also goes on to end the stream by talking about how, there's been other people on Twitch who have done worse things or bad things too, and they're still on the platform. Again, this is more of an argument on the importance when it comes to streaming services and especially YouTube to fairly ban people. You're going to have disgruntled people who get banned and point out the fact that, hey, why am I being banned? Well, this individual did something and they're still on the platform. It really points that out too. That's all I really want to talk about. If you guys like this video, leave a like, subscribe. Also, let me know your comments in the comments down below, because I know this is a very divisive situation right now, and I honestly think it's bad. He shouldn't have been messaging a minor in the first place, but it's hard to make a full decision until we see these messages, until we get the court proceedings, because, in terms of legality, he did nothing wrong, but in terms of morality, it looks pretty bad. But anyways, that's all I really want to talk about. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Counting sheep, but there's one I always miss.